Hello, my beautiful rainbow people. Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Hebrew Bible. I use the King James Version, however, to write the um, prophecy of Israel, which is the book of Zion. And I found contained within it a set of instructions that I was uniquely qualified to undertake, so I did. And in order to complete my to-do list, I am to publish peace, which is what I've been doing this last year here on YouTube and social media. And I've been doing so by doing programming, and one of which is my daily readings from the Pot Smoker's Bible and Book of Zion. Today I'm reading to you from the 29th chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible. It doesn't contain anything from the Book of Zion. We finished that in the 27th chapter. And this chapter is called Judgment. And I have been discussing the difference between the moral difference between myself, the lowly pot smoker, and Donald J. Trump, the king of the GOP. We have discussed already the Ten Commandments and how we fared in that moral fight. And now we've moved on to a few Christian thoughts. So, according to statistics, Christians go to church every Sunday. Now, the Essenes, which Jesus was himself one, and which I consider myself to be, worship the Jewish Sabbath. So, Trump doesn't seem to go to church very often at all, and he belongs to a cult of money. That is an unorthodox form of Christianity. So, even by Christian standards, he's not very Christian, because he does not go to church. Now, I practice the Jewish Sabbath in the Zionite way as best I can. And I do it as the Essenes do. You see, the Essenes, of which Jesus was one, were known for the use of marijuana. It was part of their common practices, and they were known for it. There's archaeological evidence that proves it too. So, Christians, now the next one. Christians pray to Jesus Christ as God or Son of God. The Essenes prayed to the threefold God of Israel, his powers, and his angels of light. Trump. I found a lot of pictures of people praying around Trump. They lay their hands on him, but he just stands there with a look of contempt on his face, or a smile that's vacant or self-serving. He seems to enjoy having his followers lay hands on him. But you see, when you pray, your entire body changes, your being changes. There is a stillness that comes upon you when you pray. I've never seen that stillness upon Trump, so I can't find evidence of him actually praying in the energetic state of stillness and peace, which is the true state of prayer. Trump has a well-known history of scoffing or condemning others who pray for him or who choose their God over him. Nancy Pelosi and Mitt Romney come to mind. Both of these enemies use prayer and religion as their guiding principles. Trump reviles them for it. He hates those who openly pray for him but don't worship him. His views on prayer are, like everything else, Trumpian, centered around him, his deification. Trump only believes in Trump, after all. Prayer, true prayer, I believe is beyond Trump's ability. In order to truly enter that still, quiet place where the true threefold God resides, you must drop your ego. You must submit to God. You pray to a higher power, a power that you give authority to, as well as accept the residing of prayer authority over you. Trump's all ego. He can't drop his ego or submit to a higher authority. He has no identity beyond his personification. Trump's a dead soul. There's only ego there. He has no self to humble before the threefold God. He believes he is God's authority. So how can he submit to God's authority? If you don't believe me, Google it. That's what I did. In fact, every time I say something about Trump, it comes from a Google search. Trump believes he is the Messiah. But I believe that he is the beast of the Christian revelations. He doesn't pray to Jesus. He can't humble himself enough to pray to anyone. He's entirely too consumed by his own self-worth. Zion. Well, I of course pray every day. Every time I get high, I connect with God. So I breathe in my prayers. I live in the still, quiet place where the threefold God resides. It's only a thought away from me. The stillness of the threefold God is my inner peace. My prayers are both true and answered. I am a servant of the light, a servant of the threefold God of Israel. I answer prayers. I petition God on behalf of others. I'm a living prayer, as are all true priests of Zion. The Christians live by faith. The Essenes live by deed. Trump. LOL. Trump living by faith. Trump lives by money. You take away his money, he loses his power and his ability to rule. His money has bought him out of all of those 3,500 lawsuits of his. He spends how much money on lawyers? Or I should say, his millions of followers who pay for his re-election campaign are actually paying the bills. So his worshippers are paying his legal fees. And there's no faith involved, except for faith in him. Money makes Trump go round. Everything he does is for money. It has nothing to do with faith. So you take away his money and he has nothing. There's nothing he believes but himself. So there's no evidence of Trump having faith in anything other than himself or his God money. As I've already said, money kept him out of trouble. He was charged with over 3,500 lawsuits. So he's paid his way out of charges 3,500 times at least. It was never faith that he believed in. It was always money. He turns to money in times of trouble, not God, or Jesus, or Christ. He'll turn to Putin, but he won't turn to money. Now, see, Trump is an ego with an endless bank account in a world that runs entirely on bank accounts. Or so it seems. He can do anything with enough money, or so he believes. That is why he sits in the White House, or sat in the White House. He bought it, and as long as money is the source of power in this society, he and his kind will do as they please, even to the point of deifying himself, like Trump has. Now I, on the other hand, have been following my faith and doing good deeds since 1979. My entire life is an act of faith and of deeds. I may not believe in Christ or Jesus, the Jesus most people believe in, but I know Jesus. He was a mentor of mine during my journey to the threefold God. I even asked in 1979 to follow in Jesus' footsteps, to be just like Jesus. So I have tried to be as good as he was. I consider myself a saint. I follow the true Jewish Jesus. I believe in the laws of the threefold God of Israel. I use both faith and deeds to actualize my spiritual path, a path I found following the Jesus of Nazareth, in faith and with deeds. The crypto, again, Trump, no, Jesus, me, in my way, yes. Christians believe in the sacrifice of Christ. The Essenes believed in Zion and Messiah, the bride and groom. Trump, I'll give him this one. He would be a fool not to claim absolution through Jesus Christ, our Lord. I did find a vague reference to him being reborn and giving himself to Christ at some point. He believes this wholeheartedly, I bet. That's why he thinks that he can do no wrong. He believes that he can kill a man on Fifth Avenue in plain sight and not even lose any votes. He believes this. It implies that he is never guilty of anything. He is Messiah. He is God's authority. He has the Second Amendment right to do whatever he wants, or he did. He doesn't even bother to mention his sin of murder. He doesn't believe in sin, or in his ability to commit sin. For him, there's only perfection. He can do no wrong. His sins are perfect actions that he alone has every right to commit. In other words, he's a sociopath. Trump doesn't believe he needs Jesus Christ to forgive him of anything because he's the Messiah. He is Christ. He's perfect. He has no sin. Zion. I seek to do at least one good deed a day to erase any karmic debt I might incur. I am an Essene Jew. I believe that I alone bear my sins. Every sin I commit, I am responsible for. This is the reason why I was evicted from SAU. It was because I told them that I could not do their lessons, because to do so would require me to commit a sin in the eyes of the threefold God of Israel, and that I would not pay the karmic price for that sin. So I refused to do it, even when they punished the entire unit for my refusal. Just ask the SA unit at the Women's Reformatory here in York, Nebraska, or the Women's Prison here in York, Nebraska, where it happened. I'm sure that the Christians the world over would insist that there's more to Christianity than these, but it's a mute point. Trump uses religion like he uses money. It's all for his ego, and his ego alone. So let's move on to Isaiah, to the current affairs, to the non-Christian prophecy of Israel, because he's not a Christian at heart. He's proven that by both word and deed. So, on to Isaiah and the Zionite prophecy of King James. The first passage of the book of Zion, Daniel 4:17, foretells Trump's rise to power. Yes, the threefold God put him into power, but not as the Messiah like he claims, but to be the devil's advocate. He is the Christian beast. His power comes from the Christian dragon, where he gets that power. He and the dragon both fall by the hand of the true Messiah, who stands at Mount Zion. Zion. I am the Queen of Heaven in the Christian story. Zion, mother of the nation of Zion, is the prophecy that bears my name. I am the true catalyst of change. I am the true power from heaven, invested in me by the Grey. I stand before the God of the earth as first witness. Kenny is king, Kenny's Messiah, and Kenny will kick Trump and McConnell's asses. Trump is a tool for my use. Because even by Christian prophecy, I triumph over the beast every time. And there I'm going to end for the day. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, keep you from harm, and teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it, and make that your guilt choice when we get to Camp Zion. If you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote 2 books about it. I am the Zion of the Most High God of Israel. The prophet foretold in the 54th chapter of the book of Isaiah, and I have come to set my people free, to take us home to Mount Zion. Come join me. I'm going to say later now, because I never say goodbye.